Hello and welcome to the Tarkus Zone. Thank you for joining me. Today we're playing the game Palworld, and I'm going to show you my base camp, my ore base camp setup. I call it Basecamp 1 because I'll have another one in a different location when I can open up another PAL box. Now I believe at level 10 you're allowed to, let me just go to the management system in your PAL box here. I believe at level 10, the system will allow you to open up the maximum number of bases to 2. Right now, if you look on this screen, you'll see that max number of bases is 2. That means you can put another PAL box somewhere else in the world. I utilize my extra PAL box as a way to bring in ore automatically because there's a lot of features in this game that are automatic or automated. So let's just look at what I did so that you can understand it for yourself, and it might be an answer for you. So I'm here in my normal base where I do all my business, all my major activity happens in this base. But the other thing about the PAL box is it allows for fast travel. So if you hit C, you can fast travel to any of the fast travel locations that you've unlocked. So my base camp is here, and let's just go to it. All right. Okay, so I call this Ore Camp 1 or Ore Base Camp 1. What I've got here is just the bare minimum for my pals to work these nodes, these ore nodes. And if you get a pal that has oh, it looks like they're hungry right now. If you get a pal that, just make sure they got food. Oh, they got plenty of food. If you get a pal that has the ore or the mining at level 2, then they'll automatically do mining for you at this remote location. So if we look at the hopper here, in the hopper I've got 205 ore. They have done that for me. They have done that entire process. Sometimes if you are aware that the game sometimes glitches out where the pals kind of get in especially on hills, they can get on a pathing problem and they'll like kind of pause for a minute or two. How you fix that is you pull them out of the workforce and then just pull them back into the workforce. I showed this in another video early on when the game came out. It happens a lot when you're on uneven terrain. And in this situation we are, because we're kind of having to do the process around on this hill because this is where the nodes are. But once these guys, because what happened was they got the mining guys got into a loop where they got stuck and they weren't eating, and it happens. So now they're just filling up and they'll go back to their process. Now there's a couple types of pals that you can use to make this process work. And this, I'm going to explain this camp to you so that you understand that you don't have to do anything but just show up and get the ore. And it just comes down to, you're going to have, I suggest doing one of the green guys so they can work the berry field, right? And you're going to have one of the water guys at least to water the fields. You're going to have at least one food box here so that your pals can eat. And because that becomes an automated system between the watering and the planting. You have to have at least one box here for the pals to put the ore in the box. And you put a hot spring in just to keep them happy. But that's really all you need. So what's going to happen here is those flying cats there are going to hit the ore, and the ore is going to drop on the ground. And what I've got here is I've got this pal, this flying stingray pal. It's a water pal. In addition to, it does a great job at carrying items to the box, see? And then I've got a second pal, water pal, here that's also good at carrying things. So what I've done is kind of doubled up, making sure that this gets watered efficiently. At the same time, the two water pals are going to move the ore from the ore where it drops to my box automatically. So when I come to this PAL box management system, let's go in here. These are the PALs you need. Now these are the basic setup. And what I was saying is you want a PAL that's got the mining at level 2. That's the key here. Now I've got other PALs that I just wanted to make this clean for you to see, but I've got other PALs that I can drop into this process. So if you don't want to use the water PALs to do your moving of the product, the sheep is just as good, because what's great about the sheep is the sheep only has the farming, and you're not going to put a farm down, so they won't be doing that. And then it's got the carrying, and it's got the carrying and movement of stuff to items. So you they only got one chore. They only got one thing they can do here, because there's no farm, is to pick up the stuff on the ground and put it in the box. So the sheep work really well for this process, especially if you're going to throw down more miners. So that's what we're going to do right now. There's a couple other creatures, or PALs I should say, that do mining and do it well. This is one of them. I'll put one of those down here. Actually, I'll drop both of them down. And what's also nice about this PAL is it does mining and it will do watering. It's like a little shark. And then the other one that does the mining is the turtle. Let's see if and it's right here. Okay, so now what I've done is I've added to the process at least 3 other PALs that will do the mining, and the shark will also do the watering. Now you probably can get away with just one farm. I did 2 farms just to make sure that I did not run out of food at this camp. But that 2,000 berries. So actually what I'm going to do, just to make this, because I don't need this extra field right now, because I was able to get my surplus up to 2,000. I think I'll be fine moving forward. I think one farm will just be fine. That will make sure that the shark guys are not spending more time watering as they do hitting the nodes. But as you can see, the sheep, because they got no other thing to do in their wheelhouse, they'll just move the product to the box. And then what you do is you just show up here every once in a while when you need ore, and you grab it from the box. Now that I'm going to be over capacity, over my capacity to carry it. So I want to show you a couple things here. If you hold control down and just left click, you can actually just keep on holding it down. Keep the control down, and you can just double click on the left click button to just choose the amount you want to bring. You just double click. See how it's just adding up? And you just do that until you've got how much you can carry to bring back with you. The other way you can do it is hold the shift key down, hold it down, and have the stack. I say, whoop, what? Why is that not working? Oh, there it goes. There's just a delay. So you can just hold the shift key down and have the stack, and then bring over the half stacks, and and then have it back to reduce. I mean, there's a couple ways that you can do it so that you're not overweight. So right there, I'm at capacity. I hit C to fast travel. I go back to my main base, and I deposit. As soon as I go back to my main base, I walk right over to my furnace, and I deposit them all as max for them to cook them. I take what I had already cooked and send it over to this box where I've got 394 of them going. Now the other thing you want to do, and we're going to go back to that camp right now, because I just wanted to show you the process of how to protect that camp. And in this situation, I'm kind of fortunate that I'm up against a cliff, so I'm not going to get raided by this side, because there's a cliff here unless it's a flying raid. But what I did is I built just a little makeshift wall right here, And so when I am raided, the raiders kind of get filtered through this opening, and my crew, my pals, just take them out quick. Because they get filtered through this opening, and they just take them out quick. Now, just for role play purposes, I built a stone tower up here, just so that people on the server know that I got a camp here, the Tarkus Zone or Camp 1. And I just built this yesterday. But for the automation part of the game, I'm really enjoying that. I think it works very well, especially if you put thought into how you utilize your second camp. Now, you could just go build another base. And the other thing you need to know is your second base has as many pals in it that you can put down here as your first base. So you basically are doubling your workforce by putting another pal box down. And you could do whatever you want. You could build another base that does whatever, wheat. You could do a base that did berries. You could do whatever. But in this situation, I needed the ore. The ore is important to me in what I'm doing. And just automating it just seemed to be the best way of doing it. Now, obviously, they're sleeping right now. But when they wake up, the sheep will pick up all these ore and send it to this one box. I would suggest only having one box. I don't try to complicate things with multiple boxes. Just have it in the center location. Well, I hope this video finds you well, and thank you for joining me. And this has been the Tarkus Zone.